219. Okay, let's fucking go quick as possible. Right. Right overlay. Nice. Kranox is playing 5-round support, obviously with Signet of Mercy to reset team fights and to sustain his Scourge, which is Gauntlet. We have Fly, who is on Sword Dagger, Core, Thief, rotational +1. We've got Miniverse, who is playing the Cancerous Chronomancer build. Radiance, Rune of Radiance on Demolish with the Staff, Scepter, Shield. Chaos, Inspiration, Chrono, of course, it's a 1vx. We've got Gauntlet, who is playing the Scourge, as previously mentioned. Curses, Sorry Ping on Set the Torch and Staff. On Deadshot and Rune of Nightmare, and then Torben, who is playing Staff, Sword Rev, which is the same build that's been played for like the last 5 months, but it's Devastation, Invocation, and Herald on Sword Staff with Marauders and Strength. So their comp is actually like arguably meta. They do have the Sustain, they have the Duellist, they have the rotational damage on Torben and Fly, and then they have the teamfight damage on Gauntlet. Zintrex is playing Dagger Shield, Frenzy Spellbreaker, so this is with Frenzy instead of Signet of Endurance. Sorry, Signet of Stamina, which gives them Endurance. It's been a recent change away from the Trauma build. That runs Rune of Earth and Demolishes. We've got Sari, who is also playing the Chronomancer build. So again, this is another Duelist. They're running double Duelist. Rune of Radiance, Set the Shield, Staff, Chaos, Illusions. Thanatos is playing Scourge. This is probably still Deadshot as well. So Curse of Sorry Ping, Deadshot, and Rune of Balthazar on exactly the same build as Gauntlet. Honey Aeon playing 5-round support. No Signet of Mercy in order to reset the team fight. And then finally, you have ZZ Pain, who is playing... ZZ Pain, who is playing Staff, Sword, Rev, which is exactly the same as Torben. So, yeah, they have the double Duelist, and then they have the Node Sustain on the Firebrand and the Scourge, and then the just only rotational damage of Pain. Based on comp alone, I think the red team win because they have the best well-rounded comp. They are actually running something that resets team fight, whereas blue team are not. It means that, like, in this instance right now, Aeon would have been able to Signet of Mercy, ZZ Pain, and instead what's happened is they've overcommit to the res, and now they both died for it. So I don't think that, running the utilities that Aeon has are actually more beneficial than to run Signet of Mercy. If you're going to run 5-round, like, just run Signet. It's kind of like a requirement. What's up, Ben? This is going to go, like, it's going to go 2 cap neutral, so... red team will pick up their close node eventually here. They're going to push Zintrex off, I guess. Actually, I'm quite surprised that blue team got out and managed to force home into, like, remaining neutral. Okay, yeah, so red team will be picking up their close. They're still 2v1ing Zintrex, which arguably is what Zintrex wants. He wants to be in a 1v2. Because as long as he is sustaining the 1v2, it means that the remainder of his team is 4v3. So... I think Zintrex will fall at the end of this if he doesn't disengage here. Torben just has to hit him once. Holy shit, Torben might actually get popped here. Infused Light, or Facet of Light was up. Actually, he... Okay, we've got the visual bug where it looks like he's actually in Shiro when he's not. Otherwise, that would have been hard punishing. Kranox has gone down to the pressure there of the blue team. ZZ Pain has put him down. They're going to secure him by ensuring the stomp. Miniverse still holding the close. They've got the rotation there of... Fly, who has come to get the decap on the blue team close. Now, we do have the cap being picked up in mid from Aeon, and now the red team have actually... They've lost Gauntlet. So Gauntlet being picked off in between nodes, but is anybody going to be around? No. So Kranox obviously respawning means that he's not going to get to Gauntlet in time to get that Signet of Mercy reset. Blue team will pick up double node here, so they get their home in the midpoint. They've got to watch Fly, make sure that he doesn't get the decap here. He is sneaking it. Okay, Thanatos does prevent that, and now Fly is going to be sort of like hanging around in limbo, waiting to see what to do. Red team's still holding their close. Nobody from blue pushing it. I guess blue are now deciding they want to play the double node coverage, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They're not going to overcommit to the far node and then lose a team fight for it. I could have sworn Fly was using Treb there, but he's not. Thank God. So, for anybody that was wondering how you play Thief, we'll watch Fly for just like a little bit, just so that you can actually see the kinds of things that he does. So he missed his steal there, unfortunately. I didn't see if he actually landed the steal and not the Heartseeker. Okay, so you can see he's not focusing on that team fight, even though it would be in equal numbers. He's forcing a 4v5 temporarily, but he does get the decap on the mid node, and now he's baited Zintrex back in, and now he can come in and pressure. So he's now created a 5v4, and as a result, they're going to get the kill onto Sari. However, we don't actually know. Aeon is not going to be able to sustain that because she doesn't have the Signet of Mercy. So Aeon will actually fall here. Unless, obviously, okay, there's the renewed focus, so force the immunity. Does get the resets on the F skills. Okay, that's well played by Aeon. I would have expected Aeon to fall there. If they did have the have Torben on there like immediately, then she would have died. Fly is around. Fly is probably going to engage on Aeon now. That's probably a target that's been called by Torben. Once again, try to pay attention to what Fly does. So again, disengages away and baits Zintrex into the node. One tick. Okay, so now he can return on the Shadow Step, and now he can re-engage and create a 2v2 instead of... Actually, it's a 3v2. And he forces Zintrex to sort of like hang around there and full cap the node back up so it doesn't get taken again. So just by like Fly's quick movements and quick flicks of mobility, he's forcing the lesser mobile characters to actually, or classes to disengage and hang away from the team fight temporarily. And that's kind of like how he works. And look, once again, Zintrex, using his, or like pretty much all of his mobility skills, tries to get back to mid. And because he does go to mid, Fly gets a decap. And now the Warrior is just, he's like, fuck this, I can't look after that node anymore. So Fly is constantly looking. He's engaging in team fights. As soon as he sees an opportunity, he's disengaging, and then he's going back to his node. So him pushing Sari right now, not really an arguable... Like, you wouldn't necessarily do that. You wouldn't look for a 1v1 into a Chronomancer. But because he saw that Sari was going through the standard rotation of using the Shield 4, he can hit through Shield 4 with Flanking Strike and Lastness. So, but like, he can literally hit through blocks and he can steal boons. So that's actually perfect opportunity for a Sword Dagger Thief to, you know, to hit through. I believe he also landed the steal, so he did have Consume Plasma as well for extra damage uptime. And once again, Red Team taking the double node play, and the only person who's ever pushing far is actually Fly to secure that decap. So, okay, they secure the kill onto Aeon. They're going to wait probably until somebody rotates away from home and then Fly. Look, he's looking for it. He's well aware of what his capabilities are. Straight away using Shadow, and straight away returns as well because he knows that he's got two people that are on him. Now, he could get pressured here by Zintrex. Immediately disengages towards Thanatos by using the Sword 2. So he's engaging back towards Torben and Gornet, so he knows that he's got security in his teammates and so on. And straight away back to home. So, you know, this is really smart play by the Thief, not overcommitting to anything, but still engaging on the relative, you know, fights. Has been the reason that Aeon has died in the past. Has finished off Sari as well, so has created, you know, pretty decent lead for his team. But again, in this instance, has been picked off by the F1 there of the Warrior. So super squishy and does get punished very hard. So you can see, like, you know, Fly was playing that pretty well with his evasion mechanics and so on and so forth up to this point. So, you know, now we've got, like, Gornet. Gornet is playing Scourge, utilizing Sandswell there. So he's repositioning himself away from all the cluster fuckery of the enemy Scourge and the pressure there of the Revenant. Abusing terrain here as well, so he knows he can't be jumped to. Although, to be honest, anybody that Shadow Steps to him would still land, you know, steal there. So that doesn't really make a difference. Miniverse is kind of behind him, but not really there to sustain him, and he falls. I think that was an accident. But, you know, Cranox is actually on the other side, so if Gornet did get pressured, then Cranox wouldn't really be too far away in order to resustain him. Uses the stun break there of Trail of Anguish, and is also using Spectral Walk, so trying to debate somebody into chasing him. Nobody chased him, and then he returned. Cranox getting hard pressured here. Ghastly Breach not being used yet by Gornet. Disengaging immediately as soon as his Firebrand goes. So didn't really see an opportunity to do a shitload of damage. Zintrex possibly looking for that. Torben does go down as well. So blue team are looking to make a comeback here. They've got the double node and they've actually got 3 kills. Well, it's 2 at the moment, but it will be 3 if Gornet gets picked off. Okay, Gornet is fully disengaging to get the reset on his onto his health bar. There we go. He's out of combat. And now he's straight back with Cranox. So again, you know, if you see people die on your team, disengage, guys. Disengage away, try and increase your sustainability, and reset so that you get out of combat so that, you know, if anybody did chase you, so if somebody did chase Gornet there, they would be fighting directly outside the red team spawn, and then they would get clustered on. Like, the blue team would die in that instance unless they really, really hard outplayed them. Because you just, like, you got fresh players who are just going to gang up, and there's no chance that your whole team is going to be outside that node or outside the base at the same time.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture point.
So Gornet looking to pressure the Scourge of the blue team, going straight for him. I mean, arguably not a bad decision because it punishes the team fight damage away from the blue team, and now they can actually abuse Aeon, for example, because they don't have to worry about Thanatos' output. Aeon getting hard pressured, going to be forced to use the renewed focus soon. has run out of tomes as well. Actually, the F1 is coming back up, so would still have access to some tome, but arguably not the most sustainable set. Right, so there's the renewed focus coming out early to get the reset on the tomes. Thanatos has gone down. Now, Aeon is going to go for it, uses the stab of the elite. I'm not certain it's going to be enough. You need Zintrex and you need ZZ Pain to help as well. Aeon has gone down as a result, and Zintrex has died, and Zed has died. So red team just got a complete fucking team wipe on the blues. So ZZ Pain is going to be forced to be killed here by Cranox. Cranox uses a bit of stab to ensure that he gets the stomp. And they're going to get that reset. They're going to get the whole map here, actually. Sari is bleeding out as well, so that's really, really good reset for the red team. However, you know, time and time again, I keep telling you that Aeon needs to run Signet and Mercy. Another instance there where the team fully commit to the res, and because Aeon just didn't get the Signet, just didn't try and just get the res, you know, it just forces everybody else to jump on that corpse and try and get the res, and then at the same time, everybody just like dies because they commit, you know? So Zintrex taking the ownership of the node, they've traded that off. Aeon was just temp capping it, and now Aeon is going to stay with Thanatos and ZZ until they can make a pick. Red team spreading themselves out, making sure that they're not all stacked up. If somebody jumps on the Gauntlet, then you're going to see Cranox jump straight to him, and Fly is probably going to come and help as well. They're all ready for it. There's a Sandswell utilization of the teleport there. So they've baited some blue team members in. Aeon going straight for the decap in mid, whilst everybody else fights outside the node. Answered to by Miniverse, so that's the Chronomancer, who's now sat there to prevent Aeon. Going through his shield 4s at the moment, actually uses the distortion and immediately loses ownership of the node. So Chronomancer not doing relatively well holding that node, because obviously cycling through immunity means no capture node. Punishment there from Torben to push Aeon away from the team fight. Aeon taking a lot of damage. Torben still in close pursuit. I wonder if Torben can get this. He's in Shira now, so he does have the double attack, and he does actually have unblockables on phase traversal. Aeon forced to use renewed focus again, which is going to re-sustain. Torben gives up, and they go to ZZ Pain. Obviously, Sari is down. They don't have to worry about the Signet Mercy. Now, this again could be a point where the blue team get wiped. ZZ Pain does not have Infused Light anymore. It's obviously on cooldown. Facet of Light will be back up in 17 seconds. If they can get Cranox down, though, this will obviously go in the favor of the blue team. So this right now is a bit of a clusterfuck. You've got the red team close that's neutral. You've got a 1v1 taking place. Warrior into Mesmer. On the blue team close, they did get Aeon down as well. So Aeon and Pain are down simultaneously, which means red team do have an opportunity here of a 5v3. So they're going to cap close. So Fly is picking up that node because he knows that his team has already won. Gauntlet getting pressured, though, off node here by Thanatos. Gauntlet does die to the pressure there. Thanatos and Sari able to pick that up. Cranox using the Signet Mercy. That's the Signet Mercy I'm talking about. Completely resets. That's what we were waiting to see. So there's a complete reset of that fight. So everything that they just did, everything that they just wasted on Gauntlet is completely undone, dude. Everything is undone. And that's why you run Signet Mercy. You don't run like stand your ground. Like stand your ground is like important to a degree. You can aid a team fight by giving everybody stab, but at the same time, like Signet Mercy just makes such a fucking change. I would like to see how this game would have gone if Aeon had Signet. Honestly. And obviously the game is over now. Red team are 14 points away from the win. Blue team would need to get a neutrals across the board, but it's not going to happen because Intrex is obviously watching the far node, or Fly's. It's the far node for him, but Fly's close, and then there's too many people in the mid to sustain that. So, yeah, I mean that game could have gone completely differently if Aeon actually decided to run Signet. But yeah, I mean it was a good game anyway. But what can you do? I mean, look how close that shit is. Thank you very much for the 100 biddies.
Thanks for cap.
Okay. So, again, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because we already know what the majority of these are running. But, yeah, I'll be very quick. So, Roy is obviously playing the Firebrand support. We've seen this a million times. I'll go through this very, very fast. Better than Brain is Izuki. He's playing the Stomp Spellbreaker. Again, this is the CC out Duellist. Char Big Boy, a.k.a. Teapot, playing the Wanderer's Curse of Sorry-Ping. So, main T-fight damage with tons of corruption. Nico Rev playing the Sword Staff rotational +1. And then finally you have Angels, a.k.a. Photon Cat, who is playing Elixir Hollow, who has just overheated Omega Lol. So that is a 1vx engagement as well. Miracle Aeon is playing Firebrand support. This is the support that we've seen already in the specifics videos. This is running Signet of Mercy, so does have the reset for the team fight. Aoki Pain playing Sword, Staff, Rev. The rotational +1, Invocation, Devastation, Herald. Standard. Sari playing what looks to be Sword, Dagger, Weaver, actually. So this is on fire. So has a little bit extra damage on the Sage Amulet. Slightly different build to the Illegal Math video. Skiki is also playing the same build as Aoki Pain, so they have 2 of the Revenant output. And then finally they have Timmy Tim Tim, a.k.a. Flandry, who is playing Scepter Focus Weaver. So this is Fresh Air Weaver. This is something that is looking to do a ton of damage in rotation. So they're kind of relying on their ridiculous momentum play. Now, this comp is going to come into play much stronger when the Stillness and Tranquility buff present itself, because they have so much damage at their utility, or at their feet to utilize, that they will be shutting down the red team in their rotations. So what we need to wait on here is... so, again, red team are currently in the lead. They do have the double node. They're not pushing the third, so they're isolating themselves over the 2 nodes. Funnily enough, Sari's just walked straight in there and got that decat. That's weird. Flandry getting hard focused here, actually. This is very, very bad for him. Rev's going to be right next to him. Aoki Pain trying to put down the Jade Winds to prevent. Skiki throwing out the Shackling Wave to actually force Nico away and to force him to disengage, so he doesn't, because he eats so much damage. I can't believe they actually just handed the node over to Sari. That's a bit yikes. But what we're going to see is probably Sakiki and Pain are going to work together on a single target. Teapot looks to be the priority target there, eating the full damage there from the Fresh Air Ellie. Nico Rev trying to put the Jade Winds onto the Fresh Air. They do get Char Big Boy down. They do use the Herald Elite as well to prevent the Signet of Mercy cast there by Roy. It's still channeling. It's channeling, and it's interrupted because Teapot has been finished. Nico Rev is the next target. This is where the momentum comes in. High Eye Macro, a.k.a. Flandry, Fresh Air Ellie, is still sitting on the roof, not being focused by anybody because he's abusing terrain. Roy does go down to that burst as well. Here is the follow-up from Pain and Skiki. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is 4 kills in exceptionally quick succession. Very, very quick succession. This is the ultimate momentum comp, okay? They have so much burst damage, it's unbelievable, okay? Especially when they ignore the fire, the Fresh Air Ellie. There's no way. So there's the triple cap. The rotation there of Aoki Pain to push into Izuki as well forced a 2v1 on the Spellbreaker, and he was like left to bleed out. So now blue team actually have triple node, Stillness, non-contest, and okay, red team have actually waited and regrouped. Now, you see, that's actually the incorrect play in my opinion. It does make sense because, of course, the blue team have this momentum comp and they need to work together as a team and push together as a team. Teapot is actually currently pushing terrain. He's trying to get onto the edge so that he can keep applying all this condition. It is working to some degree, but both Revenants just use Infused Light and eat all the damage. Aeon has gone down, however. So Char Big Boy being rezzed. Actually, this has worked out to their benefit. Sari has gone down. Aeon has gone down. Sakiki is probably going to follow as he engages into Izuki. Does get forced onto the node and will probably be stomped out in order to pick that up. But you see, it took them so long to regroup and actually push out and get the balls to sort of like, you know, try and force the engagement that they actually like completely gave up Stillness. And that literally right there forced them, you know, to kind of like get this like 150 point difference. So, you know, ultimately it did pay off. You do see a 1v1 taking place into Aeon. So Aeon is obviously trying to maintain Ultra in the, you know, in the ownership of the blue team. He's going to be relieved there soon, I think. Sorry, Aeon, she will be relieved. So that's just by the pressure of Sakiki. Sakiki's not going to like be pressured too much by the Holosmith. Maybe by Roy's resustain is going to be pretty punishing. Prime Light Beam into Sakiki through his, he wasn't actually blocking, so it was just it was a disengage usage. Resustain applied by Aeon there to Sakiki. So you can see that they're hard focusing Sakiki because they obviously know that Sakiki doesn't have Infused Light. Turning their attention now to Pain to try and force out the Infuse. Teapot has gone down, does get the Signet Mercy res there from Roy, but Roy goes down as a collateral damage. So Roy, Char Big Boy, aka Teapot, did just place Ghastly Breach underneath him, I think. I can't confirm. It's either F5 or Ghastly Breach. They have similar visuals. Basically a big ring. Dude, I mean, he literally just, like, suicided. 3 players down in quick succession. Sari has gone down in the 1v1 to Izuki, so the Duellist comparing, you know, ball... I was going to say ball sizes, but... I don't know if Sari is a female. Might be. So at the moment, we do see that the blue team are taking a massive lead. Again, they're still maintaining that 150-point lead. Again, that was literally gained by that stillness pickup with the triple cap. That is literally it. That's how the red team lost, you know, had this massive deficit. Again, Teapot making use of the terrain here to ensure that he doesn't actually get answered to by the 2 revs, and will apply the unblockable marks where possible. Again, smart play moving down as well, because of course the Fresh Air Ellie did walk in and start applying pressure. He would not have been, you know, he would not have been defended from that by terrain. So they have a counter to terrain usage on the blue team. You know, like, yeah, the Revenants can't get to it, but the Fresh Air Ellie sure can. So you know, it's equally pressuring for the red team, no matter what they do. So they, you know, they try to counter the Rev, but what do they get instead? They get like fucking lightning coming out the fist of Flandry on the Fresh Air that just shuts them down. So again, stillness pickup, Tranquility going to get fucking channeled by the Fresh Air Rally here as well, and that's going to be the end of the game. That is a very quick game, guys. That is like an 8-minute game. That's how fast the Momentum Comp can actually win an AT. And that's because sheer burst of Revenant is insane right now. Combine that with the Fresh Air Rally damage as well, and then throw in a couple of sustains, you know, a couple of people to look after nodes and force like maybe even a reset of a team fight with a Signet of Mercy. One person goes down accidentally, reset it, allow that burst to come in and work for you. You know, there was a time where the red team did actually, you know, turn it on them, and they did make the right things happen. You know, when they did reset, but obviously that stillness. If that was a different map, I actually think that the red team would have, you know, possibly been able to, you know, roll off that. But you know, the fact that stillness was always a thing. As soon as this happened, look, just the full team wipe, and then the stillness pickup with the triple cap, done. Like that threw the game right there. That was it. That was the game changer right there. I got paid yesterday from YouTube. Feels good, man. I can't even put my socks on because I don't have time. Fuck. Okay, so on the red team, we have Just Casual, who's playing Sword Staff Rev. Of course, this is the normal meta build. ISL is playing Elixir X Hollow, nothing different there. Ritu Utir is playing Scrapper on Paladins with Rune Leadership. Inventions, Alchemy, standard build, to be honest, for anybody that's looking to play Scrapper at the moment. But he is running Elixir B for retaliation uptime, so he's actually looking to out-sustain his opponents and damage them back with Retail, whilst he sustains on things like Shock Shield and Deflections on 2 and Evasion and shit, etc., etc. Mio is playing Scourge. So this is on Deadshot, Sorry being standard. Reliable Hostile is Chunzu. That's on Signet of Mercy with Menace Amulet with the Monk. So again, it's reset for the team fight, but it's going to be static with Mio. Sari is playing Frenzy Spellbreaker, so very, very offensive duelist, looking to do very, very high damage numbers. Still actually using Rune of Earth even after the nerf. This doesn't have my magnetic aura anymore, so yeah, it's not as good as it was, but probably still very, very relevant with protection, duration, and toughness. Falacia is also playing the Elixir X Hollow, but has Prime Light Beam. So I would expect the... Oh, actually, so, okay, Falacia's running Static Discharge instead of Power Wrench. So, actually running pre-nerf. So there was a patch that adjusted the traits here, and then Power Wrench became, like, more obnoxious, and therefore everybody started taking it. You can see why. Every single time you dodge roll, you literally reduce 3 seconds from your elite, and you gain a ridiculous... recharge reduction. So he is playing something that has like a lot more damage, but arguably its sustainability is pretty poor. Aeon is playing the sustain for nobody. So Aeon is playing the rotational support. So this is more of like something that rotates and tries to create neutralities on nodes, but also resustains fights. So say, for example, we would see like a Hollowsmith versus a Hollowsmith fight happening. Aeon could rotate into that Hollowsmith and then create like a reset. Just come in and just heal them and reset. Flandry playing what I think is Fresh Air Elementalist. So this is on Weaver. We've already covered this in a video before. So this is Marauders, Rune of Scholar. And then finally Sakiki, who is on Staff, Sword, Sword. So this is, again, the meta build for Revenant. So Sakiki and Flandry rotating together to create pressure and to isolate targets and assassinate them. We'll see them roaming together probably into this. Oh, we might actually see this happening into the scrapper, so we wait and see. Just watch this. Okay, so the majority of the first set of damage from Flandry has been negated there by the shock shield, the hammer 4. There's the passive invuln, followed up by the Revenant. Sakiki is there to actually prevent any follow-up on Flandry. Flandry is disengaging out of combat to make sure that they can re-engage once they're out of combat. And, you know, their investment there actually prevented the red team from rotating out of mid. So now, Sari, Aeon, Flandry, there's a 4v3. Flandry is going to be the priority target because Flandry just gets melted by the majority of damage. It literally has, like, no health. And therefore, that's... even armor, it's lacking. So it literally just folds. So when you're playing Weaver, when you're playing Fresh Air Weaver, you have to, like, bear in mind you need to use your rotations correctly. You can't really, like, make any mistakes here. So Aeon was obviously melted there by the Revenant follow-up and the damage there from Mio. Mio does a lot of damage. Like, Scourge can sometimes be overlooked. If it's completely ignored, it will melt you. You need to be very, very careful. I mean, one cleverly timed corruption onto the Firebrand rips all of those boons and just hard cucks. So, and by the way, don't say red team win because I've seen this team come back from like a 300-point deficit. They have such a heavy momentum-based comp with the Elementalist and the Revenant combination that it's very easy for them to win if they get on top of it. It's all about like the red team playing very, very smart and you know, countering the rotations of Flandry and Kiki. If the blue team do manage to get somebody down and then create like momentum play off of it, then I would see the blue team come back very, very quickly. So I'm not going to write them off at all. The Scrapper's very low. The Revenant is very low. Sari is actually being re-sustained there by Falasia. Ritu's going to go down here. Actually gets the protection up time from his F1. Dips away in the acid. That's the Elixir 4. Falasia can't knock Ritu down because of the stab up time from the F3. That's defense field. 3v3 taking place. Ritu re-sustained by Chunzu. Sari being the main focus of the engagement here. This is going to be a 4v3. Here comes Mio. So we're going to see some like teamfight damage. Watch him with his marks and shit. Gets the cripple. He'll probably secure the kill on one player and then leave. Getting his unblockable marks out. Doesn't have a shade yet to put down. And actually dips it straight away with the Trail of Anguish. Or not. Wait, that is Trail of Anguish, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so now it's smart for Mio to leave because it's currently a 2v2. Or it was basically a 2v1. Wait, did Sari just fucking use Vengeance? Sari used Vengeance to try and get a kill on Falasia. If they... Sorry, on Just Casual. If they can actually secure something, then this would be really good. Sari might potentially rally, but I think that Sari just kind of got bored. Yep, so Sari actually just like uses Vengeance, disengages, forces the early res. Although actually I would argue that it's late because they were almost at the end of their respawn. So they've actually just extended their death timer. That's probably not actually a good play. Falasia dies to the Sword 3 follow-up from Just Casual, but is about to get Signet of Mercy there by Aeon. And there we go, so there's the reset. Falasia wants to kill Vibrian, but can't get through the door. Mio trying to be the preventative there by putting the shade underneath the door, because obviously if Falasia sits there and hits the door, then Mio will get free condition damage. Arguably, that's going to be negated there by Aeon as well. So this is a 2v3 now with Ritu hanging around. But Brian is on the other side of that door, or was. He's making his way back towards middle to contest into Flandry. We may see this. This could be the blue team's benefit, actually. This could be where they they take the lead. The evade frame of Greatsword 3 used there to negate any damage potential there from the Rev. And now we have the Warrior and we have the Fresher Rally who are contesting into the Rev of the red team. So I wonder... Okay, so here we go. You know, you outrightly said that red team will win the game. Right now, we can see that blue team actually have double node ownership. And they've made a massive comeback in the timeline. Okay? Not even necessarily with great kills. They only just got their first couple of kills. This might be where we see their momentum play come into hand. So... they have one neutral node. The far node, their close node is capped, the mid node is capped and contested by Sari, and Sari is watching both nodes simultaneously. There's about to be a 5v5 on the far node, which Sari is now going to rotate into. The blue team, if they overcommit here, they could fold and they could lose that whatever they've worked for. So Flandry using the invulnerability there does go down. Will Aeon be able to get the res? Signet of Mercy has not gone out yet. That's the windfall, the mist form. And now that forces the elite out of Aeon as well. So Kiki might fold here as well. He's got to be careful. Does he have the use of Infuse? He does not. So now the overcommittal, never mind, gets reset by the Signet of Mercy, but doesn't have anything else to get out. Does get to use the Staff 5 just as he gets enough. And that's it. Dies on the node. Aeon is actually going to go for the res as well. This is really dangerous for Aeon. She can't res through that cleave, so now Aeon's going to die. This is going to reset momentum yet again, but blue team have really caught up. They got about 30 points left in this double point tick. The blue team could potentially hold this for a good amount of time, but they don't really want to die because then they risk giving up every single node on the map. Falasia's dead. Sari needs to leave. Sari, you don't want to die on the node here. You do not want... You need to leave. Go back and defend your waterfall. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay, Bull's charge to get out, perhaps. Get back towards Aeon and resustain. There we go. So there's the Merciful Intervention. Aeon is now rotating onto the node to prevent cap. Good play. As long as Aeon does not die into any corruption from Mio. She is very, very susceptible to damage here, especially given the fact that Vibrian is here as well. But one well-timed unblockable damage source will completely destroy Aeon. So Chunzu and the Scourge now rotating away from mid, and that's going to be forcing Vibrian to answer to Aeon. I'm not sure that Aeon even wants that fight, so Aeon's going to rotate towards the team fight that needs to resustain. Double node pickup there from the red team, so overcommittal from the blue team actually cost them this game heavily. Again, you've got the Scrapper now, like, non-contest. Aeon trying to get there. Okay, gets the knockoff. Good use of CC to actually reset the node. And now Aeon leaves again, so the neutrality was super important there by Aeon's rotation. Aeon's going back to mid-fight to resustain both Falasia and Sakiki. Create this 3v3. This is arguably in the favor of the red team because they have the Scrapper, and the Scrapper corruption is going to be doing wonders for the red team. So Mio is probably going to be the prime focus of this engagement, simply because they can't afford to have this corruption existing in the team fight. Flandry being picked off does get eaten by Vibrian's damage. Signet of Mercy does get picked up as well, but I don't think Flandry has enough defensive cooldowns to even make any use of that. And now Flandry is out. Neutrality still in the mid. Elite used there by the Firebrand, and now Skiki's being forced to disengage. Did not manage to survive with the Torment. Dude, honestly, the overcommittal far is what lost the blue team this game. I can't see them coming back from this now because they're all in different places. So they've kind of handed the momentum back over to the red team. Like, you've got Just Casual and Arya, who are going to be rotating and creating pressure. Flandry literally needs to go back in base and wait. Aeon being bled out means that their support, their foundation is not going to be back out for another 15 seconds or so. They have to leave these nodes. They have to let the red team get the double tick. They got 4 minutes in this. Sakiki running towards Warrior to resustain potential push with 2. So yeah, 2 people going to possibly rush mid together. Isolate a target from behind, perhaps. Maybe they can push away Arya Sellers and get a reset. Mio and the Firebrand. Okay, so now this is a 3v2. Okay, good play by Sakiki. Pushes back through the middle after leaving the Warrior in mid. Aeon is at... Watch Aeon. Watch what Aeon's doing. So they create like this sort of diversion tactic, and then now Aeon has rotated for the res. Does get the res. Good diversion tactic there by Sakiki and Flandry, and now they've got to reset. Mio obviously being the primary target here. They might get him. Sakiki's pretty fucking low. Does have Infused Light, I think. It's still sitting there waiting to be used. Gets the debate and gets the full heal. Good use of Infused Light there, but now does not have any more sustain. So has to play this very smart. Sword 3 on cooldown. Does Staff 3 come into play? Staff 3 is still there, but Staff 5 is not up for 2 seconds, so he is, primary target for the red team. Aeon does get focused down by the burst potential there of the red team, and they isolate 2 targets to take him out. So Aeon is on respawn. Sakiki's out of the game, and that is basically a win condition for the red team. That's it. Double no pickup. They don't have to contest it. They've got the Scrapper there to contest the Hollowsmith, and even with neutrality in mid, they win this with 1 node. So Arya Sellers is getting pressured by Flandry. Look at that damage that fucking Vibrian actually brings to this game just by hitting Flandry, like isolating him out and just teleporting to him from phase reversal and death strike. That's it. That game went so back and forth. I mean, it's obviously a really, really good game. Obviously. Well played to both teams. I mean, that could have gone either way, especially as the blue team started coming back. Honestly, it was just the overcommit. Like that one team fight with the blue team overcommit, pushed onto the far node, and just got eaten. You didn't need to push that, in my opinion. You could have kept neutral with maybe one duelist there and had the 2 nodes. You didn't actually need that node at all. That's something that happens in solo queue all the time. People push the 3rd node when they don't need it. Just get double, and you win with 2. But that was good. Yeah, good shit.